let's start with what happened today. And the Washington Post is reporting that the officer who was killed was the father of young children. It is an unspeakable tragedy. Even with the quick response to protect the Capitol, that officer still lost his life. And we've heard a number of lawmakers calling for an end to some of the measures in place since January 6th. You just heard General Honore say the new suggestions they have, there's been pushback against them. What's your assessment tonight?
First, let me offer my condolences to the family of the deceased officer who, in a sense, died protecting all of us because he was protecting our Capitol, our symbol of democracy, and condolences to the extended family, which is his entire department that's been going through a hell of a last couple of months. We stand by those officers and their mission to protect our Capitol. But I am concerned, Chris, that there has been a kind of politicizing of the security planning and posture. We've managed to politicize a pandemic in this country, and I fear we're politicizing even the recommendations of retired General Honore to simply fill the existing vacancies, of which there could be as many as 200 on the Capitol Police Force, and to create a quick reaction force for something like this today that consists of multi-agencies or National Guard and or Capitol Police. I don't believe steps have been taken in that direction. I see fighting, partisan fighting in the House and Senate over these recommendations. It's time to protect our Capitol for the target that it has become, and the building itself is a target.
And that security review, Susan Page, said, and I'm quoting here, Capitol Police are understaffed and insufficiently equipped. It recommends 852 new positions. But then what are the chances this today sparks any change when the report itself, when it came out, was criticized as politically motivated by, among others, Kevin McCarthy? Is anything likely to change?
I think today's tragedy does have the possibility of having some impact on this debate. You know, we saw that some effort by some Republicans to downplay the threat on January 6th. This is a reminder that the threat is not just in that something extraordinary like the storming of the Capitol. It's from political action. It's from mentally ill people who are trying to make a point or get some attention. It's clear that the Capitol is becoming a target and that can draw these kinds of incidents. So we heard, for instance, Mitch McConnell a month ago say that the reaction with all this, with the barriers that have been put up, had been overdone. You did not hear him say that today. So yes, I think this could be part of the debate, and it certainly should be.
You know, Yamiche, I think it's almost an understatement what Frank just said, that it's been a hell of a last couple of months for members of the Capitol Police Force. I mean, they've been working 18-hour days, often 6 days a week. The emotional toll that today is going to add on to what already happened on January 6th. Give us a sense of the mood there in Washington, D.C., and what the White House is saying tonight.
Well, the mood in Washington, D.C. is really one of people feeling on edge, feeling traumatized, feeling scared about the future. There is really this growing sense that things are going to be completely different after January 6th, and that people in some ways are going to have to get comfortable with the idea that security at the Capitol is going to have to be beefed up, much like it was beefed up around the White House. There was a time where you could walk up and touch the gates of the White House. Now that, of course, is not happening anymore. You now have fencing that has really evolved over the last few years. And that, I think, is the same direction that we're going to see at the Capitol. Another thing to note is that there's this sense when you walk into the Capitol, I was just there yesterday, there was this kind of an impending sense of things could get worse again, and that things could happen in a way where people would not be safe. There was a moment where you used to walk into the Capitol and you felt like you were in the safest place on earth. There really isn't that feeling anymore. Picking up my badge yesterday, in the back of my mind, I was thinking, is this badge going to be the thing that lets me get into the next traumatizing event that happens at the Capitol? Over at the White House, President Biden, he's ordered the flags at the White House and federal properties to be flown at half staff. The White House really is trying to navigate this January 6th world where security is top of mind, where national security is top of mind. And as Susan said, today really underscores that it's not just domestic terrorists and people with political motivations, but it's also people with possible mental health issues, all sorts of other threats that could be facing the Capitol. And then that's something that has to be top of mind for folks. And I think there is this sense that it's politicized, that the idea of security is something that's been politicized. But I think today could make things a little different because you have this Capitol Police Force with the captain saying today they've been through so much, they've been traumatized, morale is really, really low. And now you have the public who is really worried about whether or not we can all be kept safe here in Washington, D.C.
And that bottom line that people can go to the Capitol and feel safe, Frank, again, laid out in that report. But when you talk about some of the big items, whether it's more training, whether it is more equipment, whether it is hiring more than 850 new personnel, those are not things that happen quickly. What will you be looking at, or what can be done in just the coming days, the coming weeks, at least to try to say, OK, we're doing everything we can right now to make sure it's as safe as is humanly possible, given the circumstances?
Yeah, two things, Chris, I think can be done fairly quickly. First, that perimeter, that outer perimeter needs to remain hardened. Taking that outer perimeter down now makes no sense to me, particularly with the risk of copycats. Secondly, you can assemble a quick reaction force, a multi-agency force, by reaching out and tapping into a tactical team from FBI, a tactical team from Marshals, a tactical team from, et cetera, Capitol Police, Metro Police. Get them together now, ready to staged, permanently rotating around the Capital Region to respond quickly to something like this. Today, we saw the National Guard move in quickly, but it would not have been quick enough had this been a more large, organized terrorist attack.
Hey, thanks for watching our YouTube channel. You should know that you can follow today's top stories and breaking news and catch up on your favorite MSNBC shows all in one place. Download the NBC News app today.